In today's threat environment, the question isn't if our air bases will be targeted, it's how soon, how often, and with what. Emerging airborne threats arrayed against air bases, including unmanned aircraft systems, ballistic missiles, and loitering munitions, require new defensive measures both at home and abroad. The Air Force must organize, train, and equip to counter and defeat these threats by employing effective, adaptable, and integrated point defense capabilities. For many years, the Air Force has relied upon joint force capabilities to defend air bases against airborne threats. That idea traces back to a 1984 memorandum that gave the U.S. Army primary responsibility for air defense, but that agreement expired decades ago. Today's threat environment will stress joint air defense capabilities, especially when combining agile basing concepts emphasizing dispersal with rapid mobility to preserve combat power. To fight and win, the Air Force must assume greater responsibility for defending its own combat power, facilities, and personnel against air and missile threats. So what is point defense? According to doctrine, point defense is an air defense design term that describes the protection of limited areas, like vital elements of a base, using short-range, often organic weapon systems. This includes air defense capabilities designed to counter unmanned aircraft systems, loitering munitions, and other emerging threats. In operational theaters, air base commanders may be delegated authority from the Joint Force Commander or the Area Air Defense Commander to conduct point defense independently or as part of a broader integrated air and missile defense system. The Area Air Defense Commander can delegate air defense authorities, such as the authority to identify airborne threats, the authority to commit air defense assets to particular threats, and the authority to engage those threats, down to a regional or sector air defense commander. At the base level, a unit of action that possesses both the capacity and capability to command and control air defense operations can also be delegated these air defense authorities. In such cases, the Base Defense Operations Center becomes the focal point for executing the base commander's scheme of defense, including the employment of point defense capabilities. Today's agile basing concepts mean smaller footprints and more remote operating locations. Since Air Force commanders can't always rely on joint air defense assets, they must train to conduct point defense to protect aircraft and infrastructure that enables air power. Commanders responsible for point defense must understand and integrate force protection, air and missile defense, and airspace control functions. This includes understanding airspace control measures like base defense zones, the interplay between base boundaries and the base security zones, and air and missile defense authorities and fire control measures. These warfighting disciplines work together to enable effective point defense. In the homeland, point defense becomes even more complex. Civilian agencies like the Federal Aviation Administration control airspace, and defensive actions must align with federal law and the standing rules for the use of force. Coordination is key, especially when protecting against unmanned aircraft systems or potential incursions into defended airspace. Looking ahead, point defense must evolve alongside emerging threats. Future Air Force systems should be adaptable, flexible, responsive, and capable of vertical integration into a layered air and missile defense construct. Point defense is about more than just defending air bases. It's about preserving the mission. It protects our ability to project air power, maintain the advantage, and hold the initiative. This has been a LeMay Center Doctrine Development production. Check out our website at www.doctrine.af.mil to review current Air Force and Joint Doctrine publications, including the Point Defense Doctrine Advisory.